Hi everyone, today is Friday, April 10th, which means it is a Good Friday. I do hope you're also having a good day. I'm Miss Fitria Rahmawati and I'm super excited to be able to greet you again in another video. This is another series of video on the quantitative data analysis with the SPSS. Before this, you can check my previous video on the following link. The second video is the tutorial on the data screening, which covers the missing data and also the data outliers. This video also contains tutorials on the reliability test. Alright, before discussing the main agenda, let's have a quick review on the previous discussion. So, after consulting your research instrument, either it is a questionnaire or a test to some experts for their justification, you analyze the results with the icon test. And then you distribute or administer your instrument to your participants. After you got sufficient numbers of response, then you input the data into the SPSS program. What we are going to do next is we are going to continue with the data screening and also having the reliability test. Okay, this is a sample of the data that I got. Here I have 12 items for a questionnaire. As you can see here, question 1, question 2 until question 12. And I also have the data on the speaking score. So for this sample, I got two different kinds of data gathering techniques or data gathering instruments, which are a questionnaire and also a speaking test. All right, again, this is only as an example. In this example, I have 132 respondents. Both the questionnaire and the task were administered or distributed through online platforms. So, before analyzing the data, we need to conduct what is called by data screening. It is a process of ensuring your data is clean and ready to go before you conduct further statistical analysis.
Okay, the first thing regarding the data screening that we are going to check in the SPSS is the missing data. So the following are the steps. The first is click Analyze, and then Descriptive Statistics, and click Frequencies. Then you have to input the items listed on the left side to the variables box on the right side. Okay, think of any possible data which can possibly be missed or mistakenly input. For example, gender, and then the questionnaire items, and here I have also the speaking score. What about name? I suppose it is not. But why gender is included? Because you should give a label for gender and the label is clear. It should be only 1 and 2. But if you mistakenly input the data for the gender, let's say you're tired or a little bit sleepy, then you mistakenly put 3 or 4 into the system, so later you can check, right? So now let's put gender into the variables by click the gender and you click this arrow. And then you also need to choose all the items here to the variables, and the last one is the speaking score. All right, so after you put all the variables here, then you click statistics. There are some options here. You can checklist the mean, median, mode, sum, and don't forget to also checklist the standard deviation, range, minimum, and maximum. Okay, and you can also checklist, you need to also checklist the scunos and the kurtoses. These are the things that will be reported by the SPSS, and these are for the descriptive statistics. Then you can click continue. So after you finish with the statistics, don't forget to checklist this display frequency tables. All right, and then you click OK. Then the SPSS will automatically refer you to the output file. It's a different file from the previous one. So it is So this is it. This is the result. The question is, so which data should you refer to? Here, it shows the statistic table, as you can see here. As I mentioned in my previous videos, in order to check whether or not there is any missing data, you need to observe the and valid and the and missing value. See? Also, you need to observe the range score, which include the minimum and the maximum score. Alright? Here, I have 132 participants, meaning the numbers presented in the and valid should be 132 for every item, and the missing value should be 0. Now let's take a look. In gender, I have 132, and so does the every item. So 132, including the speaking score. See? What about the and missing? It should be 0. All the items should be 0. That's great. It means every participant answered all the items. So it's good if you have all 0 for the missing item, and it shows the total number of the participants in the and missing. Alright? Now let's also observe the range score, which is the minimum and the maximum score. For the gender, if you can see here, the minimum and the maximum are only 1 and 2. Why? Because you only have 2 labels. 1, for example, is for male, and 2 is, for example, for female. It means if there is no error data or missing data, the range score, the minimum and maximum, should be only 1 or 2. It's not 3, it's not 4. If you mistakenly put 3 in the gender, then it will show here. It means that you have error in your data. See? So it's good for the gender. Now, let's observe the range score, the minimum and the maximum score for every item. Here, as you can see here, I have the items stated in the sentence. It's because when you remember, so here in the variable view, when you give the label for your items, then in the result it will show you the naming. So it will show you the items of your questionnaire. So it will be easier for you when it comes to the analysis. So it's not only stating Q1, Q2, Q3. Instead, it mentions the items. So I suggest you to give label for your items. So here, if you can see, there are for the minimum score, we have 1, but we have 2 here, and we have 1, and we also have 2 for these specific items. Why there are 1 and 2? Why it shows 2? It's because among all the 132 participants for this specific item, this one, ICT membantu saya untuk mendapatkan informasi terbaru atau terkini. See, in this specific item or item number 5, there was no participant choosing strongly disagree. It means that all the participants, all the 132 participants, at least they chose disagree. See? It also happens to this item, there was no participant stated strongly disagree. Okay, so they at least chose option number 2, which is disagree. Alright, let's also observe the maximum score. So the maximum and the minimum for the range score, it actually depends on the response that you provided. Here in my example, I have 4 responses. 1 is for strongly disagree, 2 is for disagree, 3 for agree, is for agree, and 4 is for strongly agree. It means the maximum score I have here should be 4. It's not 5, 6, and so on and so forth, because I only have 2 in my genders. But for the other items, yes, every items, all the respondents mentioned or chose strongly agree for every items. See? So the point is, as long as the minimum and the maximum score fell between those categories or those response that you have, it means you have no missing data. So you can proceed to the data analysis. Okay, now I'm going to show you the SPSS results, which shows the missing data. However, we have to go back to our data. Let's randomly delete some data that we have. Like for example here, just randomly chose some of the data and then you delete some of them. See, like what I did here, just some random data. Here is for the example, if there is one of or two of your respondents, for example here, participant number 122, he or she forgot to answer question item number 4. So it happened when your participant missed to answer that, either intentionally or unintentionally. And also we can put, like for example, it should be 3 but 32, or for example here you put 24. So for example here, and also here we have 13, here we have, let's say, 21. See? So I intentionally changed my data in order to show you how missing data look like. Okay? Now, let's do the same steps as we did before. You go to analyze. You still remember what's next? Great. Descriptive statistics, and you choose frequencies. If you see here, the items are already moved into the variable box because you have done the first step, and the next step, if you go back conducting the similar analysis, it will be on the same setting, right? It is also happen to the statistics. See the checklist here, all have been checklists because we did it previously. And then we just click continue. It also has been checklist, and then we click OK. So let's take a look at the new results. See, there you go. If you still remember the previous results, now we refer to the same table, which is the statistics table. So, which data that we should refer to? Great, we should observe the N valid, the N missing value, and also the range score, the minimum, and also the maximum score. But you can see the difference here. The N valid here, we have different or various numbers. We have 132, we have 130, we have 122, we have 130. Here for the gender, it shows 132 participants. However, here in this specific item, the N value is 132. It means that there are 2 participants who missed to answer this item. So 2 participants left these items blank. Alright? So the N missing value will be automatically following the N valid. See? If the N valid is 130 while you have 132 participants, then the missing value should be 2. What does that infer? It means that there were 2 participants who missed these specific items blank. It means that both of them didn't answer these particular items. Can you see that? It has also happened to items number 4. There are only 129 participants who answer the items, while the other 3 leave it blank or they miss that. Okay? What about the range score, the minimum and the maximum score? If you can see here, you have a very, different data here. It should be 1 to maximum 4, while here for the item number 1, you mistakenly, if you see here, this one is item number 1, and you have 21 as the score, which becomes the maximum. Now you can check in your data. You can see, okay, so that's in the question 1. If you observe again, yes, you mistakenly put 21. The second error is mostly probably because the researcher mistakenly input the data, not because of the participants. So you can rewatch my previous video and see some possible factors causing missing data. Alright, you can also see another error, another missing data here. You have 32, you have 24, well, the maximum score should be 4. See? So that is the example of missing data. Hopefully you guys understand, and see you in another video. Bye bye.